Who will get into it first? Any moment now we'll find out. And it's go! And everybody is away, rushing down past the pit straight and into that left-hander. Who's in the front? Who's in the front?
And what was he in? About 6th, 7th, 8th? He was on the cusp, if not in the points. Look at this! This is ridiculous. Oh, okay, Eddie Irvine out of an engine failure. Montoya has retired. Another BMW engine blow-up this series. A 3-car battle heading towards the hairpin, and it's just going to be a case of who's latest on the brakes. Will it be Ralf Schumacher? Oh, it's definitely not De La Rosa. And it looks like, yep, Ralf Schumacher has taken the lead of the French Grand Prix. We know in previous races, Brazil springs to mind, Montoya was able to stick ahead of the Ferraris lap after lap. I'm sure Ralf Schumacher can do the same job if this car holds up. So then it's What did I just say? But Michael Schumacher coming round the last corner, and he has dominantly won the French Grand Prix. Barrichello is in second. Jarno Trulli will hold on to third. Kimi Räikkönen, is in fourth. At least De La Rosa just about able to hold on to fifth. And Button under threat from David Coulthard in the end, but he will take sixth.
We're at one of the real power circuits on the calendar, the Hockenheim Ring in Germany for the German Grand Prix, round 12 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship. This is the second race of the season held in Germany, and once again the grandstands are dominated by the colour red. But this is not only an important race for German drivers. Mercedes and BMW will be keen to make their mark on this historic event.
The Hockenheim circuit is virtually all new for 2002, and the teams have no data for setup. The final stadium section will become dominant in your setup strategy.
Right then guys, here we are for part 12 in my Formula 1 2002 reverse grid race series. And we're here on the grid for the German Grand Prix at what was the brand new Hockenheim ring, replacing the old Hockenheim circuit, or the old layout of the Hockenheim circuit. So we got Mark Webber on pole. You may have noticed that Alex Young is nowhere to be seen, because if you watched the previous episode, you will know that I did a straw poll basically saying that if a driver didn't race in real life, should they start at the front or the back? And you guys voted, not by a massive majority, but you guys did say that if they didn't race in real life, you may as well stick them at the back, because they don't really deserve to. They don't deserve to take part in this series if they didn't actually take part in real life. Which does bring on to another topic. Arrows, as you can see, Heinz Alfredson in 7th and Benoldi in 4th, now we've reversed the grid. This is actually the last race that Arrows ever do in Formula 1, because after financial issues and attempted buyouts which never materialised, this is the last we'll see of Benoldi, I believe. Frentzen does come back, at least in 2002. He does, I believe he replaces Massa for one race. I think it's the American Grand Prix he replaces Massa for, which we will see when we get to that, because obviously you guys voted in favour of me sticking with the real-life driver changes. So yeah, we'll see that when we get to the American Grand Prix. But we got De La Rosa in second. I think he could well win this, but there's no, as I've said many times, there's no point predicting this series. I mean, especially on this game, because sometimes Jaguar win, but sometimes Ferrari dominance comes about. We got Eddie Irvine in 6th, so he could do very well. Toyota, every time Toyota start near the front, I always think they could do well, but just 9 times out of 10, Toyota underperform in my eyes. Massa and Button, they're quite high up, so they could well do something. Coulthard and Trulli ahead of Panis and Fisichella, because in real life, Fisichella, and bearing in mind he didn't even compete in the last race due to his injury in free practice, Fisichella qualified 6th and Panis 7th. So that's pretty good going by those two. Then it's Räikkönen, Montoya, Barrichello, Ralf Schumacher, Michael Schumacher, and Alex Young, who's at the back, and we won't really pay too much attention about because he didn't race in real life, failing to meet the 107% rule once again. So yeah, let's move back up to the front of the field with the lone Minardi of Mark Webber, and let's see how the 2002 German Grand Prix plays out.
Welcome to the 2002 German Grand Prix here in Hockenheim. Once again, It was a Schumacher who won in front of his home crowd last year, but this time it was Ralf Schumacher, the younger of the two, who took the spotlight with a determined drive to his and the team's third win of the 2001 season. Rubens Barrichello finished second for Ferrari, and Jacques Villeneuve delivered BAR Honda's second podium finish of the year, with a third place that pleased many. Giancarlo Fisichella and Jenson Button proved that a corner had been turned for Benetton Renault by securing 4th and 5th respectively for their team, and for the third time this season, and to the delight of his team, Jean Alesi deservedly took the final point of the race with a determined drive to 6th. It's a tricky start always here at Hockenheim, and the German crowd is on the edge of its seats as the lights go on. 5 sets of lights any moment now. And it's go! Everybody away and rushing down towards that right-hander. Huge crowd, huge roar. We're racing at Hockenheim.
Right, thank you, James Allen. And going into the first corner, well, Della Rosa has taken the lead off of Mark Webber. So currently, it's Della Rosa. He's already pulled out a massive gap from Mark Webber, who's holding up Bernaldi and both Toyotas. And in fact, I think that's Alan McNish who's got the run on Bernaldi and potentially Mark Webber as well. I say potentially, it's already happened. So that's Alan McNish up into second place. Going down towards this tight hairpin, this is going to be a car park essentially, knowing this game. Basically, I mean, everyone's basically ground to a halt. There's Jarno Trulli in the mix of it, probably going about 20 miles an hour there. So how did that all shape up? So that now means that Barrichello is in 20th. Fisichella somehow dropped behind Young. Okay. What that does mean is McNish is in second. Felipe Massa moved up into third. Webber is in 4th. Let's find out how Massa gained his places, because I mean he was there. He was in 7th, and in the space of about 3 corners, well, he's 8th. He actually dropped back. But going down towards this tight hairpin, and it just dove it through the middle of the Toyotas and Arrows, and that pretty much paid off. It's difficult to say who's ahead of him. Well, I think Massa just got better drive on Mika Salo, and then quite simply had the inside line, and then bam, and actually Salo got overtaken by Webber. So we've still got that epic battle between Salo and Webber, which is playing out. We know in the long term how it's going to end. So it's Della Rosa, McNish, Massa, Mika Salo in 4th. We now get Eddie Irvine in 5th. I don't even remember seeing him a few seconds ago, but there you go, he's in 5th. And Mark Webber is in 6th, but he's lost 5 places in a lap. I don't see him retaining that place for another 6 laps, but who knows? I mean, well, it won't happen though, will it? I mean, that is a McLaren there. That's David Coulthard. He's actually moved his way up through the field very quickly, as has Ralf Schumacher. And then, jeez, all the cars going really erratically into that first corner. The battle between Ralf Schumacher and David Coulthard, and Ralf Schumacher has won out on that. Similarly, the battle between Salo and Irvine, that's actually carrying on, because it looks like Mika Salo might pass Eddie Irvine going down towards this hairpin. What about Coulthard? He can make a move back on Ralf Schumacher, and I don't think either of that has happened, but it looks like Salo just let Coulthard through. Irvine's run out wide, and in all of that, Coulthard is up into 5th. Irvine is now holding the last points place. Salo's out of the points, as is Trulli and all those behind, including Montoya, and both Ferraris, which are still in the mix, really, in the midfield. So at the moment, let's have a look at Della Rosa, because he was pulling out by quite a way last time I looked. Yeah, he's in a pretty comfortable 1st. I would put money on him being quicker than Alan McNish. Massa is in 3rd and catching up quite rapidly. Ralf Schumacher 4th. Coulthard 5th. Those are going to be the 2 to really watch out for. And Eddie Irvine holding station in 6th. And I think he'll be there. He'll be there for a while. It will be until Montoya clears these 2 cars ahead of him, which is Jarno Trulli and Mika Salo. And I think, jeez, Montoya, what is going on with some of these drivers? That is Heifeld, who's taken an excursion to get out of the way for a blown up engine, but that's not really safely out of the way. That is quite a dangerous position. So I think his engine blew up while going round the first corner, so he was sitting in 13th place, 10 places below his teammate. We'll make that 9 now because he got past Webber. But I think it just blew up going round the first corner. Well, just before the first corner, and he really, it's like he tried to pull over in the most dangerous way possible, nearly taking out a load of cars with him. But that's not really great for the German crowd because obviously there's Heifeld, one of their German drivers who is now out of the race. But they've still got Frentzen in it, they've still got Michael Schumacher in it, and they've still got Ralf Schumacher in it. And crucially, Ralf Schumacher is up there challenging for the points. We got Montoya, who is in 7th. I don't see anyone diving up the inside of him. Although, actually, 2 cars have. That is Sarlo and Trulli, who, as sloppily as you like, have got back past Montoya. So he's going to have to repass them once again. That is Barrichello, who's just appeared out of nowhere up into 8th place. So now we've got Ralf Schumacher's up into 2nd place. I wonder if the replay will go back far enough to see how that happened. No, it won't, but last time I saw he was in 4th. Coulthard is still behind Massa and McNish. But, yeah, Michael Schumacher seems to be moving his way through the field slower than all of the other top drivers, apart from Kimi Raikkonen, who I haven't seen all race. So Barrichello up into 8th, Trulli, Irvine, Massa, Coulthard. So Coulthard's got past Massa. Now he's got to get past his fellow countryman, the fellow Scot of Alan McNish. This should be pretty easy to do. It's a Toyota versus a McLaren, a Mercedes versus a Toyota. What happened there with Irvine? These cars really want to go around the first corner quite dangerously. So Massa, Irvine passed Massa, I believe. Coulthard got past McNish pretty easily. We missed out on that because I was too busy looking at what on earth Eddie Irvine was doing. But I'm sure this was an easy move. It was just the engine power that and slipstream, of course, which got him going into the second corner, later on the brakes, and I'm sure that was what did it. A little bit tentative to make the move, but he did make it regardless. So yeah, up into 3rd place. I believe that yeah, Ralf Schumacher is still in 2nd. And then it's Pedro de la Rosa leading it. Let's find out if that has changed. That is Bernoldi, I believe, out with an engine failure. Yes, it is. Okay, so Pedro de la Rosa is still leading it. Ralf Schumacher a good few seconds behind. You can see de la Rosa. That is now Mark Webber who's pulled off with an engine failure. So Young's just going to go straight on by. Okay, so de la Rosa, Ralf Schumacher. 3rd place must be Coulthard. Yes, it is. 4th is McNish. 5th is Irvine. 6th is Massa. But Barrichello's closing in on that group. Trulli I don't really see catching up anytime soon. Montoya is still battling it out. He still can't get past Trulli permanently. Michael Schumacher in 9th. Where's Kimi Raikkonen? That is someone who's pulled off with an engine failure. If the game could tell me who it was. That's Alan McNish with an engine failure. Oh, that's cruel, that is. That is really cruel. Alan McNish has had some bad luck this series with car reliability. Ralf Schumacher's way closer to de la Rosa than he was about half a lap ago. Coulthard's still sitting pretty in 3rd. But then we got Massa and Barrichello, both simultaneously attacking Eddie Irvine. And is Barrichello going to be late on the brakes? He might well have to if he wants to outscore his teammate. And yeah, I mean, the cars, it's almost like the cars don't have the turning angle or the steering rack to be able to go around those corners. That's what it seems like to me, because I know it's at Monaco cars have kind of a special steering rack just to get around Lowe's hairpin. It almost seems like they need the same thing just to get around that corner, because we've seen so many cars just just pushing each other out of the way to physically turn round the corner. So Ralf Schumacher all up behind. Barrichello means Barrichello's in 4th, Massa 5th, Irvine 6th, Michael Schumacher in 7th. He's now got to get past his former teammate. But Kimi Raikkonen, you had to interrupt that. He's gone off with an engine failure. But we missed that actually. But thank you Raikkonen. Ralf Schumacher though, regardless, is leading the German Grand Prix. Let's see if we can get a replay on that. So, I mean, this was inevitable. De La Rosa did pull out a massive gap. when the likes of Mark Webber were in second place. But we know this game, it doesn't take long for the top teams to catch up, and as you can see, Ralf Schumacher, easy as you like, got the inside line, and there you go, that is him up into first place. So yeah, it means it's still Coulthard in third. He might well be able to snatch second place off of Della Rosa. Is it possible? But there's only 2 laps left to go. He's going to have to get a move on. Michael Schumacher's now been passed by Montoya. Montoya has had difficulties overtaking a lot of people, and seemingly so is Michael Schumacher. That's why he's down in 7th place. Although, make that 6th, because he's going to get past his former teammate. Montoya will probably do the same thing. And, well, I can't really tell because of the depth of field. But yeah, that's Michael Schumacher. No, he hasn't. We definitely need some onboards for that corner because the external camera angle is rubbish. No, Michael Schumacher has got into 6th. Irvine has now basically just moved out of the way for Montoya. Yep, so Montoya is in 7th, but he's still not in the points place. Schumacher is, though, just about. Then it's Massa, Barrichello, Coulthard, Della Rosa, and Ralf Schumacher. I don't want to commentator's curse Ralf Schumacher for the 2nd race in a row, but I reckon he's comfortably got the race win with only 1 lap left to go. Della Rosa, I don't see him being passed by Coulthard because the McLaren isn't that electrically quick. Barrichello, there's no way even he with that Ferrari will catch up in 1 lap. Massa has just been forced out by Michael Schumacher, so there you go, no love lost between those 2 guys. So that means that's Schumacher in 5th. Massa is now holding the last points in 6th. Montoya could very well snatch that last point off of. We got Coulthard trying to get into 2nd place. Ain't gonna work just yet, but he's caught up surprisingly quickly. Montoya to try and get past Massa. Really late on the brakes there. That is one trait we have seen from Montoya this series so far. And yep, there you go. So it's Montoya is now holding the last points place. So it's Montoya, Schumacher, Barrichello, Coulthard. As hard as he tries, cannot get past Della Rosa, and he's got 1 sector left to do it. But we got Ralf Schumacher. He's going to come round the last 2 corners. Yeah, he's just got this corner, which leads into the final right-hander. And Ralf Schumacher, he's going to win the German Grand Prix, his home race, and BMW's home race. Della Rosa is just about going to hold 2nd. Yes, he will. From David Coulthard in 3rd and Rubens Barrichello in 4th. That leaves Michael Schumacher to finish 5th in his home race, and Montoya at BMW's home race will finish 6th. So actually, all in all, a good day for most of the German parties, apart from Heifeld and Frentzen. Mercedes, both Schumachers and BMW all did well. They all scored points. Irvine, Trulli, Button, Salo, Villeneuve, Frentzen, Panis, Fisichella, Sato, and of course we're waiting for Alex Young. So 1 last corner to go. Anytime you want, mate. Alex Young, you didn't even qualify for this race, so I don't even know why we're waiting for you. So there you go, the German Grand Prix, and the first Formula 1 Grand Prix at the modern day layout of Hockenheim. And there were no real surprises this Grand Prix. I guess the only surprise really is to see that both BMW engines survived till the end of the Grand Prix. And Coulthard did very well. He massively outpaced his teammate and he moved through the field quicker than anyone else initially. So yeah, a good day for McLaren. McLaren was so bad at the start of this series, but it seems like the further on into the season we go, the stronger they're becoming. So on to the drivers' standings, and would you be surprised to know that basically nothing changed? I mean, Barrichello slightly caught up to Michael Schumacher, Montoya slightly fell away further from Michael Schumacher. Della Rosa caught up to the front 3 and he might still get 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, but either way, Pedro Della Rosa and the Jaguar to get 4th in the Drivers' Championship would still be a major achievement. Ralf Schumacher, now he's found some speed and some reliability, which he didn't really have either of at the start of the season. He's now catching up to the guys in front of him, still only on 25 points. I mean, he's got less than half the points of Rubens Barrichello, but Ralf Schumacher, he is catching up, but it's just a little bit too late really. Below Ralf Schumacher holds the only change in the order in the Drivers' Championship standings, David Coulthard overtaking Jarno Trulli and Nick Heidfeld. So on to Constructors' standings, and same can be said here really, not really a lot has changed. Ferrari are still the only team on triple figure points. Jaguar have closed up to Ferrari, but subsequently Williams have quite significantly closed up to them, so there's still the epic battle for second in the Constructors' standings between Williams and, believe it or not, Jaguar. We would not have thought this going into the first race of this series. We would not have thought that Jaguar were, well, briefly going to be championship contenders, let alone contending for second in the Constructors' Championship standings. Below that, there is potentially a change. I've got it written down here that McLaren are on the same amount of points now as Renault. I don't know which team is ahead of which, because it will depend on the highest finishing result they've had, but I think the highest finishing result for both teams is third place. I think Renault are still leading it. You will see when you're watching this, because I'll go through and dissect who's had the highest finishing position between Renault or McLaren, but potentially McLaren could have overtaken them. But even if they haven't, McLaren's late surge in pace really is showing, as at the start of the season they were absolutely nowhere. It took them a long time to score some points, but now might well get fourth in the Constructors' standings. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and next time is the Hungarian Grand Prix. So I'll see you then.